Any word from Sam? Sam Chuck? Maybe yet? No. You don't know? Wow.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Birdland. So glad to have you here. We're the Nighthawks, music of the 1920s and 30s for the most part. And I'm your band leader for this segment of the program until the right guy comes on. My name is Vince Giordano. Thank you. Oh, so great to have a nice audience here at Birdland on West 44th Street here tonight. We have the chosen few here who came and braved the cold and all that. We also have another audience out there in the great yonder, because we are doing what we call a live stream here tonight, broadcasting. We have microphones set up and cameras, and in fact, if any of you folks in the audience, this audience here wants to join, have people join us, just write to them and say, join us at Radio Free Birdland, Radio Free Birdland, and they could tune in too, and they don't have to pay the cover. All right. Anyway, we opened up with a tune from 1952 or so called the Abbott and Costello theme song called Hey Abbott, and it's a kind of a nice fun thing to get rolling here tonight, and to play it we had to have a timpani, and we just happened to have the right guy who brings a timpani to every job, even if they request it or not. Anyway, that's Paul Wells back there on the timpani. Nice. And then with all the cold weather we've been having this weekend, where I spent most of my time with a snowblower, we played a Jelly Roll Morton tune from 1929 called Burnin' the Iceberg. Yowza. Okay. Joe Boga playing some hot trumpet. Yeah. And was that Evan Arnson on the clarinet? Yeah, man. Nice. And we had some hot licks on the drums. No timpani this time. That's okay. Paul Wells, there you go. And that was Will Anderson on the alto. Right. And I always like to talk about different guys in the band, and before we get really set it going here, that Will has got some interesting Birdland news that he's going to be involved with he and his brother. Go ahead, tell the folks.
Oh yes, thank you, Uncle Vince. Well, I did want to quickly mention that I'll be appearing upstairs along with my twin brother Peter. Every Saturday in the month of March, we'll be presenting our very own show upstairs every Saturday at 5:30, so check that out. Also wanted to mention that the merchandise part tonight, I have a product available. I'm not sure if you all still know what one of these is, but it's called a book. And I wrote it, it's called Songbook Summit, 15 Pioneers of American Sound, and it chronicles the life stories of our great American composers like Duke Ellington, George Gershwin, Irving Berlin, and Lady Gaga. No. Check it out, thank you.
All right, Will Anderson. All right, stuff to look forward to. All right, we're going to go to Detroit, so to speak. In 1929, the great McKinney's band was playing at the Greystone Ballroom, and they had fantastic players in that band. Don Redman was playing lead alto and arranging. John Nesbitt was doing some great trumpet work and also arranging. Occasionally, you'd have some guests in there like Fats Waller and Coleman Hawkins, and it was one of those deals. But there was always top-rated musicians working for the Victor label at the time, the Victor Talking Machine Company. Anyway, this tune is written by John Nesbitt and Howdy Quicksell, who was a banjo player with the Gene Goldcutt Band, and it's called Will You, Won't You Be My Babe? 1, 2, 1, 2. Joe Boga on the hot trumpet again, and that was Will Anderson on the alto, and Dan Pearson making a nice solo there. All right. Well, one of the great bands in New York, and there were zillions of them, that even after listening to this music for many, many years, I haven't even discovered because the records have not gotten to my ears yet. There were thousands of records made in the 1920s, and not only in New York, but all around. All right, enough. This is something that the great Fletcher Henderson band recorded, and Henderson had one of the hot bands in New York with Louis Armstrong, Coleman Hawkins. Don Redman was in there, playing all kinds of instruments, even the Goofus, but we're not going to get into the Goofus. We're getting obscure tonight. This is a tune called the Watcha Blues. 1, 2, 1, 2. The Watcha Blues, all the way back in 1925 on the old Columbia label. That's John Kelso playing that wonderful trumpet solo. Yeah. And then we had Matt Musselman there, mixing it up there on the trombone. There, nice. Next, we have a Duke Ellington composition. And most folks today, if they think about Duke Ellington, they probably know more about his later music from the 1930s and 40s and onward. He did a lot of writing throughout his whole life, but he really started back in the 20s. Came from Washington, D.C., and one of his first gigs in New York was working with a guy named Wilbur Sweatman. Wilbur Sweatman, there's pictures of Wilbur Sweatman. He could play 3 clarinets at the same time. Yeah, I don't know how good it was, but Duke didn't stay too long with the 3 clarinet bit, and eventually he said, I can have my own band. If I want 3 clarinets, I want 3 players, That's not too much to ask, unless you guys want to try it. No, thank you. Anyway, Duke finally got a gig on his own at a club not too far from where we are right now. It's called the Club Kentucky. And he had a great impact on New York, mainly because of his great musicians that he used, guys like Barbara Miley and Otto Hardwick, and Sonny Greer on the drums, and Tricky Sam Netton. And then later, because of all the fame he got up to the Cotton Club, and that's where he really took off. They put a radio microphone in there and he broadcast. Here's something from 1927 that Andy Stein transcribed. It's called the Birmingham Breakdown. I have no idea what the title means, and when they asked Duke later, what do some of these titles mean? They said, I don't remember. So anyway, you have your own fantasy with the Birmingham Breakdown. 1, 2, 1, 2. Birmingham Breakdown by Duke Ellington. Woo! Nice. Joe Boga there on the trumpet. Peter Yaron at the piano. Yeah, man. Let's see, I think, yeah, we had a little baritone sax by Will Anderson. Nice. Well, as you know, with the Nighthawks, we've been together so many years, and one of the policies is about requests. I mean, we take requests, but we don't play them. But we do. But this one was requested last year, and I hope the person requested is tuning in tonight. This is a tune written by Peter DeRose. Peter DeRose wrote a bunch of tunes, but probably his most famous one was something called Deep Purple, which was pretty big. And the lyricist on this was Joe Trent, who also worked with, let's see, Duke Ellington, and was out in Hollywood doing some work for MGM. And it's called Georgia Pines. And this comes from about 1929. It was recorded by Nat Shilkert and his band. Here's a couple of the trumpet parts. I hope there's more here. Hold on here. And here's some saxophone parts. Nice, okay. Let's see now. Anybody got a second trumpet part?
Yeah.
Do you? Good. You got it. Well, what do you know about that? Let me get some music over to the other side. Nat Shilkert, for the Victor label, made a lot of recordings and used a lot of great guys like Andy Sinella and occasionally Jimmy Dorsey. All right, here's something from the other guys here. Good. Georgia Pines. Let's hope I get my throat in order here, or not. It sounds like I've been gargling with Georgia something. Anyway, okay. Has everyone got their music? Okay. Good luck. It works best if you have the right piece of music in front of you. 1, 2, 1, 2. Pining for you when the dewy dawn says good morning, good morning. Georgia Pines, I hear your voice calling each night in my dreams, and you seem to say, come on back home to stay. I'm gonna walk that road, that dusty road. Now stop and rest a while, and then I'll throw my pack across my back, plot another mile. Oh, there's Uncle Joe, oi, Manny and Mo, welcome me back, for they know I'm turning in, 'cause I'm yearning for you, Georgia Pine. We have to be one of the few bands playing that song tonight on West 44th Street, I would think. Peter DeRose wrote that. Nice. All right, time to slow things down, get some blues happening. And this next number was written by a fellow named Joe Oliver, also known as King Oliver. Joe Oliver was a trumpet cornet man from New Orleans, and he left New Orleans pretty early for the jazz age and got out to Chicago and had a fantastic band there, made some wonderful recordings for Jeanette. He was responsible for bringing Louis Armstrong from New Orleans up to Chicago and getting Louis on his way. Eventually Louis left to go to Fletcher Henderson and his own life, but the King kept on going, and this is from 1926. It's a blues he wrote called Snag It. And Snag It is when you really get, got the tiger by its tail, and I think Joe Boga's going to snag it for us. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Joe Boga there again. Yeah, Joe Boga. A lot of solos tonight. What do you know about that? And we had Matt Musselman there with his soulful trombone there. Man, it felt like we were going to church. Yeah. And some nice old-fashioned clarinet there, which I like. Will Anderson, Wild and Woolly Will. Exactly. Oh yeah, tuba solo. Thank you very much. It was. Thank you so much. I forgot. The world will no longer remember what I do here. What? Anyway, whatever. All right. Well, we've had some cold weather here in New York, but I looked at the national maps this last weekend, and I noticed that Chicago had like 2 or 3 degrees. So I said, man, that's even colder than Alaska. So we're going to play a tune called Chicago for all you Chicago people out there that might be listening. And do we have anybody from Chicago here tonight? Yeah, okay. One person. She sounds very cold back there, very cold. Thaw. This was written by Fred Fisher in 1932. He wrote Feet's Too Big and Ain't No Sweet Man with the Salt of My Tears, and he had a help in Dardanella and a few other crazy things. Let me just get some water here because I'm going to try to sing this one. Try. And this is not the Frank Sinatra version, by the way. 1, 2, 1, 2. Chicago, that title in town. Chicago, Chicago, I'll show you around. Bet your bottom dollar you lose the blues in Chicago, Chicago, the town that Billy Sunday couldn't shut down. On State Street, that great street, I just want to say that they do things they don't do on Broadway. You'll have the time of your life. I saw a man who danced with his wife. Chicago, Chicago, my hometown. Nice. Dan Pearson there on the tenor, and John Kelso on the trumpet. All right. Here's something from another New Orleans fellow. We're going to play some New Orleans people tonight. New Orleans was a very important part of jazz, and just, I don't know why, but so many great jazz musicians came out of New Orleans, and this next one is a guy named Jelly Roll Morton. Now, I'm told that on the pop scene these days, there's a modern person named Jelly Roll, but he's not related. No, a different Jelly Roll from another bakery, I think. Jelly Roll Morton was a very eccentric piano player, composer, singer, and arranger too. He made some wonderful recordings for the Victor Company in the 20s. His band was called the Red Hot Peppers, and we're going to play one of those Red Hot Peppers tune. It was a smaller band, but we decided to fill it out with the rest of the band, and this is called the Pearls. The Pearls. And he did it as a piano solo, and he also did it as a band arrangement too. There's something else I want to tell you about Jelly Roll Morton, but I can't remember. So here it is, the Pearls. 1, 2, 1, go. Thank you, Jelly Roll Morton's The Pearls. Oh, I forgot what I wanted to tell you about Jelly Roll Morton. He used to say a lot of funny things. They had some wonderful recordings that they made of him in the 1930s down at the Smithsonian. You got to check them out. They're really very informative how it was. And one of the crazy things, he says, I invented jazz in 1905. And that was, maybe, I don't know, I don't think so. Anyway, so let's see, we had a little bit of Evan Arnson there on the Stump Evans C melody saxophone play. Joe Boga there doing that George Mitchell trumpet stuff, and some nice saxophone from Will Anderson, and how about Matt Musselman and yours truly getting down on the loose end? Let's give him a little of that loose end. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's enough. All right, you know, and not too many times you hear a tube and a bass guy get together like that. Thank goodness. All right, we're going to play an early tune from our repertoire. This one was written in 1898 or 1899, I can't remember. But it was written by the king of ragtime, a fellow named Scott Joplin. Scott Joplin wrote so many wonderful rags. There were so many ragtime composers in the last part of that century and just about up to 1920, and then kind of ragtime sort of got replaced by jazz. But there were people still writing rags up to today. You go to the Ragtime Festival and there's some young artist writing contemporary rags. They sound old-fashioned and some of them sound a little bit more modern, but this is the Maple Leaf Rag. Anyway, Scott Joplin, and we based this arrangement on a recording that was done about 1921 by a band called Herb Wiedoeft and his orchestra. Herb Wiedoeft was a brother of Rudy Wiedoeft, the famous C-melody saxophone player, and we got a chance to record this for Boardwalk Empire, if you remember that wonderful series. Here it is, Maple Leaf Rag. 1, 2, 1, 3. That's Peter Aaron at the piano. All Scott Joplin's Maple Leaf Rag, right, and Peter Aaron at the piano, and you might have heard a different tonal qualities coming out of our reed section, and that's because they were playing these instruments called soprano saxophones. Yeah. Not too often do you hear three of them together, thank goodness. But speaking of the soprano saxophone, I mean, most people think the soprano saxophone, they think of Kenny G. And believe it or not, in the early days of this band, a young fella came in and said, I want to sit in. I said, all right, what do you got? Got a soprano sax? He sat in. Hey, the guy was fantastic. He was great. Turns out it was Kenny G. This is way, way back, you know, before, you know. But now he's got real famous and he's really busy and probably doing okay financially. So he never comes in anymore. No, it's a shame. We have memories. But to keep the idea of the soprano sax legacy, I've nominated and named the 3 reed players in my band, Kenny X, Kenny Y, and Kenny Z. There you go. There you are. So you never know. Maybe he'll show up someday with his own little card and say, gee, it's good to be back, or something, whatever. Forget about it. Let's put the scores away right now and have John Kelso lead us in something of traditional jazz merit.
How about the blues, My Naughty Sweetie Gives to Me?
Oh, that's a good one. The blues, My Naughty Sweetie Gives to Me, in G minor?
Yes, please.
Okay, nice. I'll play a little introduction. Let's get my reed wet. Stein. Paul Wells. All right. Blues my naughty sweetie gives to me. Woo, that's a good one. All right. That's Evan Arnson on the clarinet, John Kelso on the trumpet, and Matt Musselman on the trombone. And it was good to have a full banjo solo by Devin Cortan. Really playing away. And then we had, instead of a piano solo, our pianist, Peter Yaron, switched to the celeste, a very celestial kind of instrument, mostly used in classical music, but occasionally Fats Waller and Red Nichols and Arthur Shutt and all those people used to use it. How about Peter Yaron at the celeste? Play a little of that celeste stuff. Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice. Very heavenly. All right. Then another switch in the band. It wasn't that heavenly, but it was interesting. That was Andy Stein. He switched to his phono fiddle, his Stroh violin. There you go. Brilliant. And we just want to mention that we have a newspaper here, which you could pick up a free copy. We have some free collector's item. Why is it collected? Because it's got a picture and a story about Andy Stein and his phono fiddle. Yeah, so you gotta take this. It's great. I mean, it's one of these once in a lifetime thing to know everything that you want to know about Andy Stein or don't want to know. It's called the Syncopated Times. It's a wonderful newspaper that comes out every month, and of course you can get it online for all you people out there and on the net watching us tonight, and find out about who's playing this kind of music, early ragtime, some great historical things. But the Andy Stein issue, wow. You get an autograph from Andy, and you could sell it at the flea market for $2. And also in here is our little ad for Birdland. We're here Mondays and Tuesdays, 2 shows a night, and the 5:30 show on Tuesday, which we're doing right now, is what we call live stream. And it's all on this little card, and I want to give you, each and every one of you out there, one of these cards to remind you. It's another collector's item, maybe in 50 years. Okay, that's that. What else? Oh, I thank the one person who applauded for my struggling bass saxophone solo here. Thank you very much. Thank you. As we say, the more you drink, the better it sounds, and the more I drink, the better I think it sounds. Let me see. How sweet it is, yes. Oh, nice. And that was Paul Wells back there on the drums. Moving right along. Our pianist always prepares a solo, and we're going to let him go on something that he chooses, and you're going to tell me, and then I'll tell it for the folks, on the net. What do you have?
I was going to do another Jelly Roll Morton tune, Finger Buster.
Oh, you're really going to do that?
I think I am.
Oh my goodness, wow. It's another Jelly Roll Morton tune.
The last two, bad idea.
This one's called Finger Buster. Oh, good luck. Thank you. audience participation on that. Wow, that's so great, Peter. How are your fingers? Frostbitten? Frostbitten, okay. Okay, wow. All right, let's slow things down now. We must. And we're going to salute the great Louis Armstrong, which we do on every set, because Louis Armstrong is and was so great, or was and is. There's a wonderful place I want you to go out and check out. It's called the Louis Armstrong House Museum. Has anyone been out there? All right, that's a good start. We had one and a couple of guys in the band. Fantastic place. You've come to Birdland, which is a great jazz place, the greatest jazz place in the world, I think, but you must go see the Louis Armstrong House Museum. We used to have flyers, but they all went away, and I'm told the next set of flyers is coming by Pony Express. There you go. Louis Armstrong left New Orleans because this guy, King Oliver, got him to leave, and it was a great move, because that's how Louis was found out about for the rest of the world. He branched out on his own, made his own recordings, composed things, and he was always thankful to Papa Joe, as he called him. In 1928, he gets together with Zutty Singleton and Father Hines and a few other great musicians and cuts the King Oliver tune, the West End Blues. And here's John Kelso to play it for you. How about those clarinets? That's more Peter to an Earl Father Hines. John Kelso, don't forget, John Kelso's got a wonderful gig. He's been leading almost 20 years now, way down, tip of the south of Manhattan. It's called the Ear Inn. The Ear Inn. I'm not kidding you. It's called Ear. That's why I pull on my ear. And he's got this band called the Ear Regulars, and they just cut a new album, which is on the merch table. And check that out. It's got a wonderful title, Live at the Ear Inn. There you go. Check that out. Martin Musselman on that great trombone solo. Hey, how about our clarinets with the clarinet megaphones? Yeah. A sight to see, for sure. Sound, I don't know. No, it was great. Thank you, guys. And again, the wonderful Petey Aaron doing Earl Father Hines. Yeah, very beautiful solo. And back there in the drums, a wonderful piece of drum equipment that Zuddy Singleton used, also Mr. Ellington. Sonny Greer with Duke Ellington also had a set of them. There was a few people that had it, but they're called Baccarat box cymbals. Show them the Baccarat box cymbals. Nice. All right, that's enough. Man, he could Bach all night. There you go. Have a Bach festival. We happen to have recorded this on a piece of vinyl like this. It's called Nighthawks Volume 1, and it's on the Rivermont label, Record 101. And I always like to say, if you buy this, and you can buy this online too, but we have nice copies that are autographable. They're all merch here is autographable, and every piece of merch that's sold tonight helps a needy family. Ours. There you go. Great. So take it, but you got to have a 3-speed turntable. This is recorded at 78 RPM. What? Yeah, I know. That's what I know. There you go. These guys learn fast. All right. Another New Orleans fellow that came up from that wonderful place and created his jazz all over the world was a guy named Sidney Bechet. And Sidney Bechet was, here's some music for it. This is another request. A tune that was recorded by Fletcher Henderson in about maybe 23 or 24. It's called Ghost of the Blues. And it doesn't have any soprano saxes. There you go. But we're going to get our saxophones to kind of sound like Sidney Bechet in a way. And this is really early style jazz, but almost raga jazz, almost. There you go. All right. And Coleman Hawkins was in the band, but he was really playing old style Coleman Hawkins. In fact, when jazz people would bring old recordings of Coleman Hawkins from like 1921, 22, whatever, they'd listen to that, and Coleman Hawkins says, No, that's not me. That's not you. So who is it? He says, that's my grandfather. And what Coleman Hawkins was saying, that he had moved on in his style of jazz, you know. But we're moving backwards, you know, so, the title of our documentary, if you ever see the Nighthawks documentary, is called There's a Future in the Past. So far it's worked for me. Anyway, Ghost of the Blues by Sidney Bechet. 1, 2, 1, 2. The Ghost of the Blues by Sidney Bechet. Woo! That's pretty obscure. That one's so old it's got whiskers on it. Okay. So that was the Fletcher Henderson band from that time. Now, this is a little contrast. Here is a Fletcher Henderson arrangement that he did for his band in the 1930s, bless you. And please do that on the afterbeat. Anyway, oh, there you go. That was the afterbeat. That's very good. He's a very jazzy sneezer, that Joe Boga. It was also done by the Benny Goodman Band. And it's a Fletcher Henderson composition called Down South Camp Meeting. And so this is how a decade or so in difference in bands, sounded. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. South Camp Meeting, arranged by Fletcher Henderson. Well, we had a great time playing for you folks. We have the chosen few with us here tonight. I was move the little velvet stanchion thing here, get more people in. No, I'm just kidding. But it was a great audience, and you guys are wonderful, and thanks for supporting live music. We always like to end our show by saying, let's try to introduce more young people to live music. What do you think? Yeah, good resolution. Birdland, we're here every Monday and Tuesday, West 44th Street. Come down to Manhattan, come down any night. I mean, take a look at these brochures that are on your table. It's amazing how many great artists work here. We have cabaret night on Monday nights. There's all kinds of jazz, from the earliest jazz to some of the most modern jazz here. It's a wonderful place in every way, shape, and form. We're so happy to be part of this great Birdland machine. This is going to be the 76th year of Birdland this year, which is great. We're going to close off with a hot number that Earl Father Hines did in Chicago in 1929. This is a Mark Lopman transcription. Originally it was arranged by Alex Hill. It's called Everybody Loves My Baby. It was an old tune at that time, but Father Hines had some nice things to play and put together for us. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Giordano The Nighthawks. Just a reminder that some of the bands are here with us every Monday and Tuesday, so please come back to tell a friend. And if you'd like to take the music home with you, there are CDs and LPs in a book available at the gift shop. The Mingus Big Band is playing upstairs at 7 o'clock. If you'd like to stay with us, please inform your host. For those of you leaving, we want to thank you and look forward to your next visit.